Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the second annual Hopkinton Senior Center Variety Show. First up, please welcome the Hopkinton Tappers.
tides, watch the temperatures rise. Every season driving bigger when it's still down. People say the time is running out. They spend their whole lives just preparing to die for no reason where beliefs like a hand you down. They worry about the fashion trends, keeping up with the Kardashians. There's never really been a strength of mind. Lucky to be alive is all right. People want to take a look around and stop believing the lies of the smallest convincing. If I'm pretend to tell you that it's raining now. I'm tired of feeling paper thin. I'm tired of the state I'm in. I'm tired of seeing familiar faces cry. Lucky to be alive is all I am. Lucky to be alive is all I am. People in the shadow of a doubt. Don't you lose your faith, your luck won't change. I believe it, you let love show you how. I'm trying to love the simple things. I'm waiting on the power breaks. Any for your thoughts will cost a dime. Lucky to be alive is all I am. Lucky to be alive. Heaven help me if you can, 'cause I am just a man running for my life. Oh, so lucky, lucky to be alive. Oh, so lucky, lucky to be alive.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Hopkinton Taplers. And that's Rebecca. Some people are natural blonde. She's naturally pink. And it's important to remind you. That'll be your exit song, Rebecca. All right. We'd love to remind you that Rebecca teaches tap right here in this very room on Tuesday afternoons at 2 o'clock. Also Zumba. So you can see tap and Zumba or dance for all ages, right, Rebecca? All right, nice round of applause for Rebecca and company. Okay, this next young lady, you can take the stage. You quite often will walk by the fireplace and you'll find this young lady reading. She's a very accomplished reader as well as singer. She'll go right up on stage. You need the chair or the stool? You're going to stand, Carol? Okay. So Carol will be performing Happy Talk from the musical South Pacific. And we're going to hand her a microphone. Just a second. I'm doing sound, stage managing, and a little bit of announcing on the side, okay?
Talk about things you'd like to do. You gotta have a dream. If you don't have a dream, how you gonna have a dream come true? Talk about a moon floating in the sky. Look I'm a lucky cuss. Talk about a girl saying to the boy, you and me is lucky to be us. Happy talk, keep talking, happy talk. Talk about things you'd like to do. You've gotta have a dream. If you don't have a dream, how you gonna have a dream come true? If you don't talk happy, and you never have a dream, then you'll never have a dream come true.
Ladies and gentlemen, Carol Barker, all the way from the front entry of the fireplace. And before that, a native of England. Beautifully done, Carol. Well, Joe, for one, is loving this because I've heard you laugh the whole way through. So that's good, Joe. Having a good time? Good, me too. Now, next up, we've got, obviously, someone from the staff and someone who volunteers in the kitchen. And Joyce Rahm will be the physician. And yeah, sure, Sheila Frackleton will be the patient, prospective patient. Now, you know if you hang around seniors long enough that we talk a lot about our medical situation. So this is just going to be a little glimpse about what happens in the doctor's office. And sometimes the doctor and the patient have a little sense of humor.
Come on in, Sheila, will you? Come on up, I'm ready for you. I'm Dr. Schatz.
Hi, Dr. Schatz. Nice to see you.
Sit right down, please.
Doctor, I'm not really feeling very well today. That crowd at the senior center lunch wore me out.
Well, let me see if I can do a little quick examination. See if I can find anything. Open your tongue, please. I can do a little measurement if I may. Very important. Head circumference, very important. Well, I think you need to take some pills I'd like to prescribe. Green pills, please take those with a big glass of water in the morning.
Okay.
After lunch, please take these red pills with a bigger glass of water. And then at dinner, please, with a huge glass of water, take these blue pills.
Oh my God, doctor, what is my problem? That's a lot of pills.
You're not drinking enough water. Is there anything else wrong today, Sheila?
Doc, I'm in so much pain. You have to help me. I ache all over.
What do you mean all over? Try to be a little more specific, please.
Well, I have a pain. It hurts right here. It hurts right here.
Yes.
It hurts over here.
Yes.
I get a pain over here,
Yes.
but we know what that might be from.
Yes, yes.
And I get a pain right here.
I think I'll examine this ear.
There.
Oh, that ear. Oh, excuse me. Oh, well, ma'am, I think what's wrong with you is you have a broken finger. Ma'am, is there anything else wrong with you today?
Doc, I'm not able to do all the things around the house that I used to.
Right. I guess I'll have to examine you a little more now. Please cross your leg.
Okay?
Does that hurt? Please cross your other leg.
Whoa.
Does that hurt? Oh, okay. All right, all right. Well, I'm not quite sure what's wrong with you, but I do think you're just lazy. Anything else wrong with you today, Sheila?
Well, it's kind of my memory. I'm kind of worried. I lose the keys sometimes. Sometimes I even lose the whole car. Last week, I forgot it was my husband's birthday, and a lot of the time, I call my son by my brother's name, and I really do this all the time. Can you tell me what I should do?
Well, I can tell you what I would like you to do. Please pay me up front. Anything else wrong with you today?
I'm not sleeping through the night. I am tired all the time.
You're tired all the time. There's no medical reason for this insomnia, Sheila. There's none. My suggestion for you, get a good night's sleep. We knew you wanted to do that, right? That's your goal here today. But you need to stop taking your troubles to bed with you?
It's kind of impossible. My husband won't sleep alone.
Well, Sheila, actually, you know, I have to tell you, I've noticed you've gained a little bit of weight lately. I'd like you to follow a very simple diet. Please, eat regularly for 2 days, skip a day, repeat this for a few weeks at a time. I think you'll lose about 5 pounds.
Okay, thanks for the advice, Doc.
Okay.
3 weeks later, she returns for her follow-up.
Is this Sheila? Sheila, wow, you look just great. I think everything's been going well, right?
Yep, you were right, Doc. I lost 15 pounds.
That's amazing. Did you follow the diet?
I sure did, but every third day I thought I was going to drop dead from all that skipping.
Anything else wrong with you today, Sheila?
Well, it's been a month since my last visit, and I feel miserable. I have aches and pains all over.
Did you follow the instructions just as they were written on the bottle?
I sure did. The prescription bottle said, keep the lid tightly closed. Well, Dr. Shaw, I just want to say thank you for the great advice. And before the office closes for the day, I'd just like you to know that I know a lot of you may be having problems trying to find a good primary care physician, and I want to let you know that Dr. Shaw is taking new patients.
Yes, I am.
And at your first visit, you get a free shot. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Joyce Rahm and Sheila Brackleton, doctor and patient. All right, next up we have star of stage, screen, and minibus. The guy cracks me up in the dining room as he throws things across the room, whether it's a piece of paper or a plastic cup full of water, or you want to, what do you want? No, not you? No. You want a microphone and a cord, George? Or do you need 2 mics?
No, we'll see.
We'll see. Does everyone know George Robinson, ladies and gentlemen? He'll be introducing the song he's about to do.
One of these days I'm going to sing a funny song, but I'm a sucker for love songs. So this is Perhaps Love. It's sung by John Denver, or John Denver and Placido Domingo. Perhaps love is like a resting place, shelter from the storm. It exists to give you comfort. It's there to keep you warm. And in those times of trouble, when you are most alone, the memories of love will bring you home. Perhaps love is like a window, perhaps an open door. It invites you to come closer, wants to show you more. And even if you lose yourself, don't know what to do, the memories of love will see you through. Oh, love to some is like a cloud, to some is strong as steel, for some a way of living, for some a way to feel. And some say love is holding on, some say letting go, some say love is everything, some say they don't know. Perhaps love is like the ocean, full of conflict, full of change, like a fire when it's cold outside, thunder when it rains. If I should live forever and all my dreams come true, and this is about all of you, my memories of love will be of you. This is quick song. I don't need to pick up it. It keeps falling out of my fingers. This is My Cup Runneth Over by Ed Ames. It's the same chords as the song they just sang, but I have to sing in a different key. I have to get. Sometimes in the morning, when shadows are deep, I lie here beside you, just watching you sleep. And sometimes I whisper what I'm thinking of. My cup runneth over with love. Sometimes in the evening, when you do not see, I study the small things you do constantly. I memorize moments that I'm fondest of. My cup runneth over with love. In only a moment, we both will be old. We won't even notice this world turning cold. And so in this moment, with sunlight above, my cup runneth over with love. With love.
George Robinson. All right, next up we have from our own staff, I don't work here, Marlene Troops will be performing Mira from Carnival. Yeah. Let's hear it from Marlene.
I came on 2 buses and a train. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine that? 2 buses and a train. Would you believe that this is the first I've traveled? I come from a town, the kind of town where you live in a house till the house falls down. But if it stands up, you stay there. It's funny, but that's their way there. I come from the town of Mira, beyond the bridges of St. Clair. I guess you've never heard of Mira. It's very small, but still it's there. They have the very greenest trees, with skies as bright as flames. But what I liked the best in Mira was everybody knew my name. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine that? Everybody knew my name. A room that's strange is never cozy. A place that's strange is never sweet. I want to have a chair that knows me and walk a street that knows my feet. I'm very far from Mira now, and there's no telling that. I have to find a place, I've got to find a place where everything can be the same. A street that I can go, and places I will know, where everybody knows my name. Can you imagine that?
Can you imagine that? Everybody knew my name.
Orange Cooks, ladies and gentlemen. All right, if you were here last year, this young lady's no stranger. This time she's stepped her act up a little bit, about 16, 18 inches, and she'll be on the stage instead of the floor. So I think she feels more comfortable at the stage, and I think you get a better view of the talent she has. So without further ado, first doing the old soft shoe, and I didn't mean to make that rhyme, and then we'll go into Boogie Woogie Bugle Boy. So first, the old soft shoe. Here's Char Wall.
Say, Roberta,
What you want, Ernie?
got your soft shoes?
I sure have.
Let's go into our routine.
All right.
Here we go. Give me that old soft shoe. I said that old soft shoe. A one, a two, a doodly doodly doo. Give me that old soft shoe and nothing else will do. That's the dance my darling used to do. We sang love's refrain,
Just like a vaudeville team,
danced the whole night through.
we had the cutest routine.
Strolling lovers lane,
Weren't my bonnets a scream? We'd harmonize and doodly doodly doo.
give me that old soft shoe. I said that old soft shoe.
A one, a two, a doodly doodly doo.
Give me that old soft shoe and nothing else will do. That's the dance my darling used to do. Back in olden days,
You were the king of them all.
soft shoe was the craze.
I was the belle of the ball.
In our one-horse chaise,
Goggles and duster and all. We'd harmonize and doodly doodly doo. Now give me that old soft shoe.
I said that old soft shoe.
A one,
A two,
a doodly doodly doo.
give me that old soft shoe and nothing else will do. That's the dance my darling used to do.
Wow. Now we're going to do something a little different. She's going to pick up the tempo a little bit with Boogie Woogie Bugle Boy, Jazz Tap.
He was a famous lover man from out Chicago way. He had a boogie style that no one else could play. He was the top man of his craft. But then his number came up and he was gone in the draft. He's in the army now, alone heavily. He's the boogie woogie bugle boy, company B. They made him go a bugle for his Uncle Sam. It really brought him down because he could not jam. The captain seemed to understand, because the next day the cat went out and drafted a band. And now the company jumps when he plays readily. He's the boogie woogie bugle boy, company B. A root, a toot, a doodly-yardie doo. He blows it eight to the bar. In boogie rhythm, they can't blow a note if the bass and guitar is a whipping. He makes the company jump when he plays readily. He's a boogie woogie bugle boy, company B. He was some boogie woogie bugle boy, company B. And when he plays boogie woogie bugle, he was busy as a Christmas bee. And when he plays, he makes the company jump right to the bar. He's the boogie woogie bugle boy, company B. He puts them on the sleep with boogie every night. He wakes them up the same way and he early cry. They clap their hands and stomp their feet. And they know how it goes when someone gives them a beat. Oh, how he wakes them up when he plays readily. He's the boogie woogie bugle boy, company B. A boot, a toot, a doodly-yardie doo, doo, doo. He blows it eight to the bar. He can't throw a note unless the bass and guitar is in. Whoa, wham, bam. And the company jumps when he plays readily. He's the boogie woogie bugle boy, company B.
Thank you very much. She'll be back with a some health advice just a little later in the show. So thank you, Shark. Nicely done. Yeah. Next we have Carol Slammin. She will, remember a time before cable television when nobody was really cooking on TV except one lady, and usually on PBS. Her name was Julia Child, right? Well, Carol's here to relive those days, if you will. And if her last name sounds familiar, yes, she is Chief Steve Slemmon's mother. So how many people knew that? Yeah. Oh, I just hired some stagehands.
Hello. I am the inner Julia Child, going to prepare a meal, which I think we all need at this point after all that exercise. I'm going to cook today chicken fricassee. I have a chicken. There are two different sized chickens. This is a pullet, and this is a hen. And I'm going to try cooking them both. And they are very, they have to be very, very fresh. So I like to pick the feathers off first. It's better to cook them with the legs and the head on. It's more nutritious. And so, just wait a minute. So we've got to cut a bunch of herbs and what's kind of and vegetables to put in there in the pan. So I like the onions mostly. There. We cut those. And some onion. There. And now I love to put butter on everything. Butter is good. If you're a wimp, you can use broth, but I like butter, and I can mush it all over. Be quiet. Be quiet. And then I mix a bunch of herbs with more butter. Well, that's my spoon. And goop it in there. Some garlic also. Oh, I like to cook that garlic. And now we have herbs from my own garden. Nice fresh herbs. And then there you go. Then cover it up, and I put it in the oven for an hour. And then this is what happens. It's beautiful. Now we can all eat, and you can put rolls with this, or a salad, or plain, just the way it is. It has everything, all the nutritious things. Bon appetit!
Carol Slammin, Miss Julia Child's inner self. Okay, next up we have Mr. John Beery. He'll be singing 2 songs, Italian-based. I don't know which one's first, John?
We'll go with
The microphone is there. Which one would you like to do first?
The Godfather.
The Godfather, all right. John, if you don't know, comes from Italian heritage, but he spent a lot of years in England growing up. Hello.
It works.
Just a little gale coming through. Okay, so we're going to accompany you with the theme from The Godfather, and
Right.
you'll sing it beautifully as always. Hang on.
The vows we made will live until I forgot all the words of the my life is yours and only because you came into my life and that soft love. So I screwed it all up. But can we start from the beginning? Speaks ready?
Hang on a second, Tom. Ready?
Parla più piano che nessuno sentirà. Il nostro amore lo vogliamo io e te. Nessuno sa la verità, neppure il cielo che ci guarda da lassù. Insieme a te. Somehow I'll pick it up. We'll go back in English. And all because you came into my loneliness someday. Wine-colored days warmed by the sun, sweet velvet nights when we are one. Speak softly, love, so nobody knew but the sky. The vows of love we made will live until we die. My life is yours, and all because you came into my world with love so softly. I really don't know how to mess this song up. Anyway, shall we give it one more try on the Italian ones, or do you want to
do the Roman guitar?
The Roman guitar, okay.
All right, Roman guitar by John Beery.
Right. Roma bella mia pare, solitario il mio cuore, disilluso d'amore, come l'ombra cantare, una muta fontana e un balcone lassù, oh chitarra romana, accompagnami tu. Suona mia chitarra, lascia piangere il mio cuore, senza casa e senza amore, mi rimani solo tu. Sempre velata, accompagnami giardina, la mia bella fornarina, al balcone non c'è più. Mentre il fiume cammina, io lo seguo perché mi trascina con sé e travolge il mio cuore. Vedo un'ombra lontana e una stella lassù. La chitarra lascia piangere il mio cuore, senza casa e senza amore, mi rimani solo tu. Se la voce è un po' velata, accompagnami giardina, la mia bella fornarina, al balcone non c'è più. Oh chitarra romana, accompagnami tu. Thank you everyone. Thank you. I couldn't follow the music much. Let's put it up a little bit. That's it.
Hey, John, you're up here and they're sitting down, so I think you did a great job.
Thank you.
Okay, next up we have Marge Tujian. How many people know Marge? She's a frequent visitor here at the Senior Center, frequent flyer. And she's written these poems, so she'll perform for you. I assume you'll have the titles?
Yes.
Okay, you all set?
I'm famous for attending lunch almost every day. Boy, there's some hard acts to follow here. I enjoy poetry, both reading it and writing it, since I was a young child. I'd like to read a couple of my poems for you today. The first one is called Rules for Writing Poems, self-explanatory. Cheerios, sweepstakes, Scooby-Doo, anything will do for a subject. Write on the backs of envelopes, lists, the paper your husband brings from work, engineering specs. Type with a 37 Remington noiseless, on paper 100 sheets for 89 cents. Leave your work in drawers in the kitchen, bedroom, or boxes in the cellar, or folded between the pages of the book you're reading. Interrupt your creative flow to stir the sauce. Drive a child to school. Visit neighbors. Attend workshops. Swim, dance, fight, eat, party, love yourself and others. Pray you'll be a good poet. This poem is a childhood memory. It's called Summer People. Those plums in a brown paper bag remind me of summers at Howe's Neck, eating plums with sandy fingers, warm plums, red as blood. Once or twice a summer, the fruit man drove through. The cottagers picked with abandon. The piles of fruit glowed with moisture. The smell of melons was like eating melons. We year-round people didn't buy fruit often, except oranges in a net bag, tough and seedy. But when the fruit man came, we too bought plums or melons, peaches with golden hearts. The juice ran over my chin. When the summer kids came, everything changed for the better. We lay in the shade while the breeze ruffled the pages of comic books piled around us. Roberta's father showed movies at night in his yard. Huddled in blankets covered with citronella, we watched Laurel and Hardy, Johnny Mac Brown, The Enchanted Forest. A colony of young chimps, we camped on the beach, long afternoons, peeled sunburns, scratched words on skin white with dried salt, poured the hot sand on our backs and dusted it off. I soaked up enough sun then to last me a lifetime.
Next up we have Pushpa Joshi, and Pushpa is going to honor Mother Teresa, the late Mother Teresa, but at the same time showing that Mother Teresa had a sense of humor. So let's see what she comes up with. Trying to imagine Mother Teresa, who's as pious as they come, with a funny side, but you'll see what I mean in a minute. Here's Pushpa.
Good afternoon. And first of all, I want to thank all of you for inviting me here, all the way from India. And you know, when I came here, I found out that Americans they say they speak English, but their English is a little different. So when I came and stepped on the airplane, out of the airplane, and I come out, and the guy says to me, wait here, and I'm going to cross you out, and you are going to go to the limousine, and you are going to cross the sidewalk. And I said, what sidewalk? Then, when he took it there, I said, we call it footpath. So he said, no, we Americans call it sidewalk. So I said, now I understand, because people here don't walk with their feet. They just sidewalk it. So, all right, this was my first American English 101. Now, I should talk something about me myself too, right? So, I was born in Albania. And you know, you think that, okay, she's now old and a nun and very respectable one. But when I was in Albania and I was in high school, I was head over the heels on this Michael. And we were good friends, and then he came and he said that after high school, I thought, I was just kind of, you know, imagining that I'm going to get married and this and that, and you know. So he comes in he's on his knees, and he says to me, he wanted to be really romantic, so he says, Daisy, Daisy, give me your answer true. I'm half crazy, all for the love of you. It has to be a stylish marriage. I can't afford the carriage, but you will look sweet upon the seat of the bicycle built for two. I had nothing to do with this bicycle built for two. So I just told him, I said, Michael, Michael, here's my answer true. I'm not crazy, all for the love of you. I want a stylish marriage, and I want a nice carriage. I won't look sweet upon the seat of your bicycle built for two. So Michael just walked out, and he was history, and my heart was broken. It took me a while, but then I picked up the pieces of my heart,
and I decided I have nothing to do with getting married and slave for some man. So I said, I'm going to be a nun. I went to convent and became a nun, and they sent me to England. Then I was there for a while, and then they said, well, she's very hardworking, let's send her to India. So I went to India, and you know what? I was kind of disappointed that they are sending me to India all the way there. But when I went there, I started enjoying it. And I'll tell you some funny things about Indian people. Most of them are brown, but they love fair skin. So when I went there, they started calling me Gori Madam. In India, fair skin is called Gori. So everybody called me Gori Madam. And I was very happy because in America, no one called me Gori. I was just one of them. But in India, well, they loved me, and I worked there hard. And I really enjoyed being in India. And then I looked at this way, that like sometimes when I come to United States, and sometimes I get disappointed, I get homesick, and then I just sit down and I just said, look, none should never get angry. So I take my rosary and I just pray for all of you, saying, God the Father of the heaven, have mercy upon all of us. Thank you very much for inviting me.
Pushpa Joshi. Pushpa. All right, next up, this guy in the, what we call a tie-dye, or we did in the 60s. If you remember the 60s, you weren't there. Wearing a tie-dye is Joe Frackleton. He'll perform a couple of numbers for you, and I think he'll introduce his songs, although I'd like to, but I don't want to steal his thunder. And when he's through tuning his guitar, we'll stop for coffee. No, I'm just kidding. Once he gets what he wants there, because you travel with these instruments in the cold and the dry and the humidity, and it does knock things like guitars and pianos out of tune. But a guitar is a lot handier to bring to the beach. So we're going to plug you in, Joe, as soon as you're ready.
Anyway, I'm going to try to do a medley of a couple of songs from the 1960s. One was recorded by the Youngbloods and the other by the Byrds. I think these two songs have a lot of relevance in what's going on today. So anyway, I'll give them a try. People and that's the way it should be. What you put me on. You'll probably feel a whole lot better when you're gone. When you're gone. Song I sing, you will understand. Listen. Hold the key to love and fear, all in your trembling hand. Just one key unlocks them both. It's there at your command. Come on, people, now, smile on your brother, everybody get together, try to love one another right now. I said, come on, people, now, smile on the sister, everybody get together and get off your keister right now, right now, right now.
Great Hopkinton. And the fact that he has the same last name as Sheila is no coincidence. They're husband and wife, so there you go. Sheila works in the dining room, volunteers in there, and Joe picked up the guitar, what, about a year ago, Joe?
Yeah, whoops.
And then he hit his head on the microphone, and the rest is history. And he brought his own brick. I love it. So I mentioned the dining room, and I met this next young lady in the dining room because she has a contagious laugh. She loves life, has a great time at what she does. She says she lives in the pool house. Now, she lives with her, I don't know if it's her son or daughter or in-law, but she lives in the pool house. And she says, and when I'm gone, they'll return it to the pool house. So right now, I'm living in the pool house. So she's an independent liver. I won't tell you how old she is. You'll have to guess. But she's going to come out and do a couple numbers for us. And is she in the room? Is she behind the screen? Is she ready to go, Joe? You ready to go? Come on out, Joe. Got a little intro for us?
A little intro first, okay. All right, this is a sailor's delight. My husband was a sailor in Second World War, and this is what the song would be for him and for anybody that's in the Second World War. For all the sailors.
Hip. Wait. You want some music to go with it?
I forgot.
That's okay.
We gotta get Julio Iglesias in there.
We gotta get Julio
Come
going.
on, Julio.
Keep an eye on me, Joe. We'll start the music. Joe Foster.
Okay.
Yeah. Go.
For all the sailors I loved before. You see, I don't have a good song, a good voice. They went in and out my door. I wish they could have stayed, and then we would have played some more. Get it, Jack?
Get it, Jack. What's wrong with you, Jack? Ready?
Go, go, go!
Joe Foster, ladies and gentlemen. Young at heart. I think they're saying encore, Joe. They're saying encore. Joe, should I explain what you were intending to do originally, or just leave it out? Go ahead.
Keep it PG.
She was going to do a striptease, but she figured her husband might be looking down and saying, no, we're not going to do that. Okay, so, all right. So next up we have the fellow who you've seen in and out of the kitchen if you've had lunch here more than once. He's been with the center maybe a year yet, Rich? Not quite?
About 8 months.
8 months?
Yeah.
So he replaced the fellow that was in the kitchen working. They needed someone pretty badly. Rich Monroe stepped up to it. He's multi-talented. He doesn't only clang dishes and break glasses. He's going to perform some old-fashioned magic. So I've got the headset for you up here, Rich.
See you all later.
Bye, Jack. Alright, so I'm going to be doing a couple tricks. First one I'm going to be doing on my own. The second one I will need a volunteer. So here we're going to wooden paddle with a couple rubber bands around it just to hold, I got 3 pennies here. So you see nothing on this side, nothing on this side. Take your first penny, put it in the rubber band. Second, another rubber band. Third, give it a little magic rub, just right quick. Now you can see there's 1, 2, 3 pennies on this side, 1, 2, 3 pennies on this side. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pennies, and have doubled our money. Now, everybody wants to be able to manipulate money. You know, turn a dollar bill into 100 and just have it like that. You know, nobody, use the marker, none of that. Now, nothing on this side, nothing on this side. Very simple. Give it another magic rub. Very, very important. There's nothing on this side, but when we turn it over, dollar bill. Now, when people ask how it's done, just like any other magic trick, it's done with smoke and mirrors. So, Jack, just so we know there's no stooges in the audience and, nothing's been prearranged, could you just pick anybody you'd like? Preferably somebody with a dollar bill. Just a $1 bill.
Here.
That's fair enough. Does anybody have just a single dollar bill at all? Anybody raise your hand? John, do you want to be the volunteer for it then?
Just to clarify, Rich said there's no stooges. In other words, there's nobody set up to do this trick. This will be totally random, right, Rich?
Yeah, nothing was prearranged before, and I just
want
everybody to know that.
All right, so we're going to pick someone?
Yeah.
Russ, are you game, Russ? Russ Ellsworth?
I got a $5 bill.
Well, that'll work 5 times as well, right?
Unfortunately not. A single dollar bill.
Oh, a single dollar bill.
Yeah, single dollar bill. Anybody?
He's got a 10.
I'll be keeping that 10 if that's the case.
$10 bill, $1 bill. $1 bill, some lady coming up from the
Okay, did you want to be the volunteer, Marlene, or do you want somebody else?
Looks too planted to me, Rich. What do you think, crowd? No, we don't want Marlene to do it. Someone totally random.
All right, since now we have Russ. Okay, come on.
Okay, Russ.
You're going to embarrass me.
Oh, absolutely. You know it. You can actually just take a seat right here. Right there, yeah.
You're here for a checkup.
So I'm just drawing a very poorly drawn box. If you just want to write your initials or your name or just something to make that dollar bill your own. Okay, awesome. So, and this is his dollar bill. I will show you right quick.
Here we have just 4 little sheets of colored paper. Nothing super fancy about them. It's just kind of trash construction paper, and that's what we'll call it. We'll call it trash paper for now. So we take the 4 sheets of trash paper, unfold them, there's nothing in the middle. Or if we take Russ's $1 bill, well, Marlene's $1 bill, put it in the middle, just fold it up into these sheets of, again, just trash paper. Now, we did the magic rub before, but that's not going to cut it this time.
I'm watching.
This time we'll do the magic shake. And if we just unfold the trash paper after the magic shiner.
Now you got 2.
Unfortunately not. However, again, manipulating money can be very fun. Because everybody likes to carry around a dollar bill, but nobody likes to carry around 4 quarters. Now, since it was one of these $1 bill, and she's definitely going to want it back, we will fold up the quarters. It's difficult to fit them in there, but when you do, you got it.
I'm watching.
One more magic shake. Just unfold them once more. You see that once again, we have the $1 bill. Now, prove to you that this is Marlene's bill with Russ's signature on it. Is that what you wrote there? Right there? Thank you.
Rich Monroe, showing us all the...
This autograph's going to be worth something.
Wait a minute, the buck stops here. Oh, no. Okay, next up we have a duo. We've seen Shar earlier. She'll be back. She is back, and they're going to do a little bit on Stretch and Stay Well, and she'll explain when she gets up there. Okay, so for a proper introduction, I should introduce Yvette Kite and Shar Wall performing Stretch and Stay Well.
Hello, Yvette. How are you today?
Not
You
doing
look
so
pretty
good.
depressed.
Well, I'm not doing so good, I'm afraid. Everything aches. My joints ache, my eyes, I can hardly read this writing anymore. I don't know what's going on. It makes me feel so down in the dumps. Do you know that feeling?
Yes, I do. And I have a perfect remedy for you.
You do?
Yes, let me explain. The weather is getting colder, we're getting older, and we're getting stiffer. So what we have to do is stretch. That is the key. If we get flexible, we feel better, we eliminate pain, and our whole body feels alive. If we sit in a chair and become couch potatoes, we just don't have it.
Okay, so let's go. You show me what to do.
I will show you what to do. Sitting.
Be gentle with me, won't you? Be
Oh,
gentle.
yes. Yes. Sitting is the new smoking. We cannot be couch potatoes. We're getting older, and we got to keep our bodies flexible.
Okay, let's go. Be gentle.
I will. Just follow me. Reach up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, feel alive.
Yeah.
We're going to stay forever young.
Let's dance now. Let's dance.
Let's dance.
Let's take the chair away first. Thank you.
Chairman of the board.
Charleston tap.
Sorry guys, we're getting there. We're getting there.
In olden days, a glimpse of stocking was a looked on as something shocking, but now God knows anything goes. Good authors too once knew better words, now only use for another words. Mighty goes, anything goes. The world has gone back today, and goes back today, and black's white today, and day's night today, and more skies today than women cries today are silly gigolos. So though I'm not a great romancer, I know that you're bound to answer when I propose. Anything
Show wall and event tight. Keeping us healthy, keeping us moving. Oh, now I think it's appropriate that we invite all of the Senior Center staff come on up. We've got a little sing-along that you see the words on the table. We'd ask you to all join in. So anyone from the Senior Center staff would like to join us up here. And it is just a little while before Halloween, so here they come. How about a nice round of applause for the Senior Center staff coming up? Let's see, let's take attendance here. Amy, Judy, Joyce, Marlene, Lisa, Sue, Rich, George, Louie, Ruth, singing. Those were the dates.
Just tonight I stood before the tavern. Nothing's in the way it used to be.
I'm being attacked by my friends! All right, let's try this. One sure way to get a standing ovation in a hall is to invite Kate Smith into the room. Wait for it. How about that? Give yourselves a round of applause. Nicely done. I want to thank everybody for coming out and joining us here. Thank all the performers. Thank the Hopkinton Senior Center.